Hi everyone, good morning. This is our last session, the 8th session, and I'm going to talk about the 7th basic psychological need plus 1. Okay, I'm happy to know that you've been with me all the time, and thank you for that. But before I go there, before I start talking about the basic psychological need, the 7th plus 1, let me not forget to thank the people who made these home videos get to you. First and foremost, my husband, Doc Briggs, Tito to Sam, is my videographer, using his cell phone. And of course, the MLAC team for their total and enthusiastic support for these videos, especially Chris, my son, and Richie Rosales Par, who did the difficult part of editing and posting the video. And of course, let's not forget my co-authors of the book, Tess Aguilar and Bless the Assis. And definitely, I'd like to thank all of you for being with me, and especially for your really encouraging and uplifting feedback. That has been a very great help to me. Okay, so let's talk about the 7th basic psychological need, which is the need for transcendence. This is very, very relevant during this time when we are still going through the pandemic. It is not yet over. So we need to know deep inside us that we can go beyond what is happening now. That there is something better that will happen after this. This will pass, and that things will be much better. And it's also important in the basic need for transcendence to know that there is a bigger, wiser being that's there for us. You may call it God, Allah, Buddha, Atman, but we know that we can count on something beyond us, greater than all of us. And that faith, that hope, that belief that there is something better and that this will lead to something more than what we have now, and something different and something new, is very, very important. And to have that faith and hope leads to a less stressful and less anxious way of living. So, let me give you some examples, some experiences we've had of actually learning transcendence from the people we have tried to help. First is, it's in the center. I used to work in a center many decades ago, in a center for sexually abused children. And there was this 14-year-old girl who was raped by her stepfather and had a child with him. And as we were doing some counseling, in one of the sessions, she told me, pag natapos na lahat na ito, mag-aaral ako, magiging lawyer ako, para matulungan ko lahat ng bata na kagaya ko. When this is over, I'm going to become a lawyer and will help the children who are in my situation. I was so humbled by her ability to transcend what was the dire situation she was in. She was able to hold on to her dream in spite of that very, very difficult situation that she was in, and in spite of the big trauma that had happened to her. So we learned much from the children. And then in another place, a disaster area where all the houses were ruined and many deaths in the family, the group of people we were talking to, they said, and I quote, may plano ang Diyos para sa atin. Hindi niya tayo pababayaan. Magdasal lang tayo palagi. God has a plan for us. He's not gonna let us down. Let us just pray. Let's always pray. And for them, they were able to transcend their situation, which was again a very, very humbling experience for them to tell us that and it all came from them. No? And they realized their faith in God, the total trust in God, and the power of prayer. That's what they taught. So we learn from the people we're supposed to be helping. And their transcendence, or ability to transcend, it's marvelous. No? They go beyond what's happening in the moment. They go beyond the situation and believe and know that there's something more than what's happening now, and it will be something better. I think we also need to cling to that belief now that there will be something better after this pandemic. It's not going back to the same life, but having a better, more relaxed, and less stressful life. Okay, let me share with you an entry from my own journal in September 25, 2004, a long time ago. We were very, very harassed in Manila with a very difficult week and hectic everything. I was so tired, so as soon as we got here in this nature sanctuary, I ran to the bahay ko at the back, which was kind of far from the entrance, and I just laid down there, and this is what came to mind, and I wrote it down, so let me share with you. I'll quote from the journal. To transcend, we need to go into the sacred space inside us and to be still. In the stillness, I am restored. In the stillness, I am centered. In the stillness, I am sacred. In the stillness, I am caressed. In the stillness, I am loved. In the stillness, I am loved. In the stillness, I am. Okay, let's go to the +1, which is the 8th basic psychological need that I've added because I think it goes with transcendence, and that is the need for beauty. We need to be touched by beauty. We need to be a beholder of beauty. To let beauty take us pause, to let beauty inspire us, to let beauty uplift us. And I remember a very unforgettable incident during the disaster, one of the disasters. We've gone through all the disasters. In the killer quake, there was total devastation. You could hardly see anything that was alive except the people who survived it. And one woman who was with us, we went up the hill, and then she pointed to a mountain that was totally devastated, brown and all ruined. And then she pointed to others, on the other side, she pointed to a mountain that was all green with a lot of trees. And in that moment, she showed us first that there is beauty in the midst of devastation, and that there is hope. This is a devastated mountain, but we can have a mountain which is still beautiful. So again, she taught us both transcendence and beauty. And I have to tell you that it was a 1-year intervention that we did for these people in Carandang who lived in tents. So the first day we went there, they were all devastated, nothing was growing. So we went back after a month, and we saw plants growing and flowers growing, These people in devastation, they needed to see beauty. They created things that will give them beauty. Even in the poorest houses in the barangay, you can see that they have flowers, pots that are made of cans, empty bottles. They put flowers and plants. So people really crave for beauty. They all are able to transcend and uplifted because of beauty. So I believe that, this is just my own belief, that if you are not touched by beauty, maybe you've been so harassed, your life has been so hectic, there's not even time to look at anything. There's a flower that's beautiful beside you. You cannot see it because all you're aware of is where you're going, because you have to go fast, you cannot waste time. Either you're so harassed and so your life is so hectic, or you might be depressed or traumatized. That's frozen inside you and you cannot be touched by beauty. So in that space where I was talking about, where they started to plant flowers, we knew that they were healing from the trauma because they were able to see and create and appreciate beauty. And let me tell you an interesting thing. The Navajo Indians have a different way of looking at life. No? To them, a person is rich, not because of the money he has, but because of the number of songs that he knows. So people are encouraged there to continuously walk amid beauty. Beauty of the landscape, the trees, the flowers, the mountains, the soothing music, the uplifting poems, painting, sculpture, and any piece of art. And they glory in this beauty. And the renowned Italian psychologist Ferrucci warns us, what will happen if we turn away from beauty? What are the dangers of turning away from beauty? Because when we turn away from beauty, we go to a place where the vulgar and the artificial, dull, and deaden the human spirit. He talks about several things that can happen, dangers when we are blind to beauty or there is lack of beauty. The first is a degradation of the urban landscape, meaning ugly structures coming up, buildings that are ugly coming up. The second is the inability to be awed, as in awesome, because you have deadened your spirit, you are not able to be awed by beauty. And the triumph of tactlessness. And the other one is boredom. And the last one you will relate with, it's the dominance of the loud and the superficial. Now you know what I mean. So let us renew our spirit by knowing how to behold beauty, allowing ourselves to be touched by beauty, to pause and to go beyond ourselves and look at beauty and say, it's breathtaking. Let us not lose the deep belief, the deep spirit of faith and hope that when we come together, all of us, we can transcend this pandemic and we can start to walk in beauty. So let me leave you with a few questions. First is, when have you felt a very deep sense of hope in the midst of adversity? Have you allowed beauty to touch you, to uplift you lately? So another question is, how will you be more open to beauty, and how will you get back that ability to be awed? I leave you with those questions, and thank you so much for being with me. Maybe in future videos I'll see you again. Thank you. Thank you.